Step.
Welcome back to Bazaar Morning Call. As we told you, so many corporate updates. So let's get straight to it. Our research team is standing by to give us the list of top 10 stocks on our radar today. Tata Steel is the one first up. Nigel, why are you looking at that?
Well, they come out with the operational performance, Sonia, and it looked pretty okay. You know, on a year-on-year basis, not that great, but on a sequential basis, there's a good recovery. So that's clearly tell you the NINL acquisition that they've got, that's perfectly fitting in there. And remember, for the past quarter, still exports were a little bit sticky. So domestic market looks fairly good. So that's why on a sequential basis, they have delivered a good growth. And in Europe, you were expecting pressure. They're already alerted us that for quarter 4 and quarter 1, they're doing some realignment there, particularly in Netherlands. So that's why you're expecting a bit of subdued sales numbers. But at least on a sequential basis, it's looking up. So that's why we're going with green on Tata Steel on the back of their operational performance. But otherwise, a lot of those financial names as well as small finance banks, they came out with their operational update. Abhishek's with us to run us through that list. Morning, Abhishek.
Morning, Nigel. So to begin with, Cholamandalam disbursals are pretty strong. Across lenders, what you are seeing is that disbursals are pretty strong and one of the best that you are seeing in last 10 to even 15 years. Total disbursals or quarterly disbursals are more than 21,000 crore for Cholamandalam. New business disbursals are more than 4,600 crores. Vehicle disbursals are nearly about 12,200 crores. Collection efficiency was pretty robust at 130%, and they have cash on balance sheet of more than 5,200 crores. So Equita Small Finance Bank, the deposit momentum was pretty robust, nearly about 34% YOY and about 8.5% quarter-on-quarter. The disbursals grew by 80.5% on a YOY basis and about 23.35% on a sequential basis. The disbursal to AUM ratio, that's the key point to note, that it's now beyond 50% versus 45% in the previous quarter. And how is this possible? I don't know, because this disbursal to AUM ratio is for HFCs beyond 50%, and they largely finance MFI or shorter duration books, so that needs to be seen closely. CASA ratio has declined 42.3% versus 46.24% in the previous quarter. However, loan growth has been pretty strong, 36.24% YOY and about 12.5% sequentially, and they have seen their cost of funds rise both YOY and quarter-on-quarter. Coming on to Ujjivan, again, robust disbursals aid in loan growth. So AUM growth is about nearly 33% YOY and 10% sequentially. The disbursals growth is about 23% YOY and 24% quarter-on-quarter. Here again, the disbursals to AUM ratio is at 37% versus 20% in the previous quarter. Deposit momentum has been pretty robust, more than 39% YOY and nearly about 10% sequentially. The CASA ratio has remained stable for them, which is a heartening point to see. And collection efficiency has improved, leading to efficiency or improvement in asset quality as well. Back to you.
All right. Thanks very much for that, Abhishek. So pretty much across the board, a decent kind of reports coming through pre-quarterlies. But from banking and financial services to consumers, Avenue Supermarts and Nykaa reported business updates. Mangalam is here with more. Mangalam, morning.
Well, for both of them, it's relatively soft as against their own historical growth itself. But for DMart, it's a 20% jump that we've seen standalone on a year-on-year basis in the fourth quarter, a little over 10,300 crores in terms of revenues. The 3-year revenue CAGR for DMart has been 18.6%. But remember, they've added stores at a much faster clip. So the per store revenue has actually grown at a much slower pace. Quarter-on-quarter, we've seen an 8.5% dip in their revenue, and that's largely on account of seasonality. Q3 is a high consumption quarter. But the company has added 18 stores in the fourth quarter, taking their entire store addition for this year to be 40, which is a good thing. But however, DMart has valuation headwinds, so let's see where that goes. Nykaa is the other one that I'm watching out for, a big mover in yesterday's trading session. And now they've given us an update that their beauty and personal care business actually did well in the fourth quarter as compared to the third quarter. But the third quarter, the beauty business actually was weak. So 26% growth is what we saw there. What was actually not so good in Nykaa is that, the fashion business, which was supposed to be a growth and margin driver for the company going forward, there the growth has been in teens as against 50% that we saw in the third quarter itself. Add to all of this, we heard the launch of Reliance's Tira, so competition heating up as well. See some red on Nykaa.
Oh, definitely. And reading from the press release, Nykaa's press release, they say that the consumer pullback in discretionary spends has had an impact on the fashion business, leading to a subdued growth in NSV this quarter. So quite cautious commentary coming through. perhaps the stock could be in the red today. Surbhi is also joining in to give us some more stocks that are in the news. Surbhi, over to you.
Hi, good morning. Thanks for that. So I'm watching out for a couple of stocks this morning. The first one is IEX. They reported their monthly volume numbers, and for the month of March, their total volumes were down 4% on a year-on-year basis, but up 12% on a monthly basis. The price was, however, lower by 23% on a monthly basis, and the company says that the price correction was due to the cooler weather. For the full year, the volumes were down 5%. Next is Hero Motor, where the company has launched a VRS, that is voluntarily retirement services, for all its staff members. Now, this offer includes a one-time lump sum amount, variable pay, gifts, medical coverage, and retention of company car. Dalmia Bharat and Sugar, the company announced 2 capacity expansions, one to expand its grain-based facility at Negohi. The unit will have a capacity of 250 KLPD, and they are going to invest 400 crores. They expect it to be commissioned by September of 2024. And the other expansion is one at one of their sugar units. They will expand the capacity by 400 tons of canes per day, and this capex is for 14 crores. And lastly, TTK Healthcare, they are going to have a board meeting on 20th of April to consider delisting of shares. Now, the stock was up 5% yesterday, and the stock is just 6% away from its 52-week highs. According to the shareholding disclosed on December 2022, the promoters hold 74%, and the remaining is with the public shareholders.
Okay, thanks a lot for that, Surbhi. Here's a quick recap of our top stocks in focus. Stocks with positive news flow. There's Tata Steel, Cholamandalam Investment, Equitas Small Finance, Ujjivan Small Finance, Avenue Supermarts, Hero MotoCorp, TTK Health and Dalmia Bharat Sugar. While stocks with negative news flow, there's Nykaa and Indian Energy Exchange. But let's also get a quick handle on what's happening in the world of commodities this morning. Manisha Gupta is joining in for a quick word on that. Manisha, good morning.
Morning, Sonia. Thank you for that. Well, I'm looking at all the economic data that has been coming in for the month of March, and that is on the weaker side. If you look at the U.S. service sector, U.S. factory orders, that has slipped in March. The U.S. manufacturing is the lowest in 3 years for the month of March, and the weak China factory activity also seems to be weighing onto the industrial commodities. So you have the crude oil prices, which have slipped below $85 a barrel. They're holding on to their gains for the week, though, because we are looking at U.S. crude inventories decline, and the Saudi Arabia also has lifted prices for the Asian consumers for a third straight month. But the metals have not been able to hold on well. Zinc is trading at a 5-month lows. You have copper prices now trading at a 2-week lows. Iron ore prices trading at a 3-month lows. Steel is trading at a 2-month lows. So for the day and for the week, most of these metals are closing in for the negative now.
All right, Manisha, thanks very much for that. That's commodities in focus. Well, we'll take a very quick break here. Up next, Deepan Mehta of Elixir Equities will join in for some fundamental stock analysis. Later, we'll also have Peter Cardillo of Spartan Capital Securities to talk about, this is a bit of a top-down subject, but relevant right now, is the dollar losing its status as a reserve currency of choice. Stay tuned, that conversation comes up as well.